just got back from China, and let me tell you, that's one interesting market. First of all, it's now the biggest car market in the world, and yet their penetration, number of cars per capita, is way less than ours. If they ever buy as many cars per person as we do, well, the Beijing traffic is already bad enough. Now, all the major manufacturers build cars in China because the government slaps something like a 300% tariff on foreign-built cars. So Ford, Audi, Volkswagen, General Motors, they all have plants there. But it's interesting to see the brand names that they like. The number one selling Chinese branded car in China last year was 15th overall. 3 of the top 4 were Fords, Volkswagen, Audi, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, they're all in there. And the number 3 car overall, the Buick Verano. I find this interesting because back in the 30s, the Chinese emperors drove McLaughlin Buicks. That's right, Canadian-built Buicks. And 80 years of communist rule there hasn't been enough to erase the idea that Buick is a prestigious car because the emperors used to drive it. It's also interesting to see the type of cars the Chinese want. It turns out the Chinese people want the biggest car they can afford. So car companies like Audi, for example, will build a long wheelbase A4, that's their compact car, and a long wheelbase midsize A6 in China exclusively for the Chinese market. Mercedes-Benz and Volvo are following suit very shortly. Now, the theory there is something like the old days when people in London, England would buy a Range Rover. The idea there was if you saw someone in a Range Rover, you might think, gee, he probably owns a horse farm in Kent. Well, you probably can't afford a horse farm in Kent, but you can afford a Range Rover. So in China, if you drive the long wheelbase A4, for example, people will think, well, he's driving his car today, but most of the time, he's sitting in the back seat and the chauffeur is driving. So one area where the Chinese market's the same as every other market, it's not what the car can do, it's what it can do for you. I'm Jim Kenzie.